Wisconsin primary will be held next week, April 7th, during the fucking coronavirus pandemic. This is just insane. So, a federal judge declined today to postpone, or delay this Wisconsin primary election that's happening, for to decide who's going to become the Democratic nominee for president. Basically, saying the judge said that he didn't want to become, supersede the health department, and didn't think it was the role of a federal district judge to step in, which is just, I don't know, really stupid. And so, and then we have Joe Biden saying he thinks it would be okay for this election to happen again during a primary, or during a pandemic, I should say. The same thing that him and his campaign were echoing before the Florida, Arizona, and Illinois had their primary a couple weeks back. Again, during a pandemic, Joe Biden does not care if you live or you die. All he cares about is getting your vote and becoming the nominee, no matter what type of personal cost that's going to cause these communities that he's telling that it's safe to go out there and vote. And it's just really disgusting. And let's also point out the fact that over 100 communities in Wisconsin don't have poll workers. And Joe Biden saying, well, if we have people are able to social distance, say 6 to 10 feet apart, same day registration, counting the ballots, having people come in person to vote. We'll scrub down the machines after. Joe Biden, that's a fucking fantasy. That's not going to happen. They're not even going to have enough poll workers to adequately get people through the polling stations. Again, they shouldn't be asking people to go out and risk their lives to cast a vote. That is ridiculous. And the Wisconsin governor, Evers, a Democrat, but not a very progressive one, it seems like, had talked, I think it was last Friday, about moving to a all, mail-in ballot system. But the Republicans in the state legislature, with, I believe, controls both the Senate and the House in Wisconsin, as well as local election officials, was saying it's too late. It's like, okay, what the fuck's this governor doing? Why is he waiting till the last minute to change it to mail-in ballots when we've been in the midst of this pandemic going on, for a solid month now? He could have maybe done that the beginning of March, mailed out all these ballots so everybody could do it from home, so they wouldn't be risking their lives and potentially, contracting the coronavirus and dying, or getting it themselves and spreading it to, one of these more vulnerable populations. It's just disgusting. And then, obviously we have Bernie Sanders on the right side of history, of course, per usual, saying that the election should be postponed or delayed, citing the fact that the other 15 states have already done that. The DNC also postponed their convention for a month. And so this is just some quotes from Joe Biden I put down. Biden: that's for the Wisconsin courts and folks to decide. I think you could hold the election. And then again was saying the convention's different than voting machines and how you could have them scrubbed down. It's like, no, it's not. You don't need to straddle the fence here. You can come out with a strong position and the morally correct position like Bernie Sanders is. It should be postponed or delayed. You shouldn't be asking people to go out and vote during a pandemic when there is, in Wisconsin, a shelter-in-place order and 1,500 people have already been diagnosed with the coronavirus, with COVID-19, and obviously, that number is probably a lot higher. And the fact that there's a shortage of election workers, there's going to be longer lines for people having to wait and vote, and the fact that, election workers tend to be older folks, you're asking them to go out there and risk their lives for a election. It's just completely ridiculous. And I mean, shame on the governor of Wisconsin, the election officials there. Shame on the Republican-controlled legislature. They could have easily switched this to an all mail-in ballot system. If they couldn't have, if they started in March and needed more time, okay, then figure it out, postpone and delay it till you're able to get out all those ballots to people, all the voters in Wisconsin. Again, you shouldn't be asking people to go out and risk their lives to vote for to vote. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And again, it shows that Joe Biden doesn't care if you live or you die. He just wants to get your vote. And Bernie again is on the side of humanity and compassion and understanding that people shouldn't have to risk their lives to exercise their right to vote. It's just completely ridiculous and disgusting, and again, a failure of this federal judge by saying that it's not his job to quote act as the super health department for the state of Wisconsin. It's like just failures at every level, from the Democratic governor, from the Republican controlled legislature, from this federal judge, and Joe Biden again, just completely disregarding the health of people who might be going out to vote for him or vote for Bernie or whoever else. He doesn't give a shit. And again, he doesn't support Medicare for all during a pandemic. This is Joe Biden. He is not the friend of the working people of the United States. All there is to it. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Peace. Much love.